Today's video is part 4 of the commission that I've been working on for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Now it's a commission for Nicole and Hemi, and after seeing one of my other images on wood they decided that they'd love to have one too. So this is the culmination, if you like. It's taken from the beginning to when I first started drawing it right through to now when it's actually been transferred onto wood. My name's Robbie Greer from Rusticated-Art, and thanks for stopping by, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So what do you reckon? Let's get started, eh? Come on in. Okay, so today I'm just going to be, this is the area that the picture's going to be. So I've made a little pattern, so I know that that's going to be the size picture that's got to be transferred onto the wood. Now this is the wood. This is the wood that I've got. So I've sanded the timber that we're going to be using to put transfer the image onto. Just a bit of scrap, like it could be pine, that I've used that was left over from whatever, I don't know what job it was left over from, but anyway, this is what we're going to use. Now what I want to do is make it look old and stressed. Yes, I went a little bit too far there and the old chisel just, but I think it'll be alright. I'm just going to glue it back on. I've got some Gorilla Glue, that's real good glue, so I'm not too worried. I sort of a feeling that could happen, but that's all good. We're just like new. Glue. Here we go. A little bit on the edge as well. Put that on there. Wipe off the glue, and I will put a clamp on that. Just a little bit of cardboard on there just so the clamp won't stick to the wood. That'd be good as gold. Alright, I'll leave that for now, and I'll come back to that once the glue's set. Just make sure everything's fitting alright. See, I want to stress this out a bit too, so you know, I've got to make it look old. What I'm trying to create is something that's it's going to look like it's sort of come out of the fire, or you know, or it's been unearthed somewhere. Something. So I want it to look really old. I'm going to be putting in holes down here. Not sure which way to go here. I don't know whether to put that to the front. I think there's a bit of a knot on there too. So I like to get all the knots and bits in there that I can. So what do? Is I cut it off here, and we want 570. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to cut that. Now this timber was just some offcuts that I got off of a sawmill. And these are just the sides, you know, because obviously they were just the ends that nobody wanted. So he used to advertise them for free and you just go and help yourself. But he doesn't, I don't know where he's gone, he's not where he used to be. But I love all the little imperfections, you know, like there's little dents in here, and as you can see, it's just got all these little dings and dents, obviously from when they were milling it and dragging it out of the bush. The whole thing, I want to make it look old, like it's come out of a fire, or it's been unearthed from somewhere, it's been sitting somewhere for, you know, many years. That's the impression I'm trying to create with this. Alright, so I'm just using a bit of burnt umber. And let's just see if we can, I'm just going to go over it. And just what I've done, I've watered it down quite a bit. So it's not too thick, because like I say, I want to rub it off. So I've got to move pretty quickly because it will dry very quickly. Alright, my cloth. And it's sort of like a bit of a stain really, without using the stain. I like to get the paint into these grooves. It just makes it a little bit darker in there. See how that just sort of darkens that up a bit? You see that? Yeah. the same on here, there's little, and then I'll go over again with sandpaper if I feel it needs it, just to give it a bit more stress. I don't know if stress is the right word, but give it a bit more age. What's the other word? Patina. You don't need to underneath, but I'll give it a little coat because some of it has gone underneath there. Depends whether they're going to have it up on the wall or on a shelf. It'll go, you know, both places. You can have it on the wall. But because it's got a wide base, it can go on a shelf. So for that reason, I'll just put a little bit of a coat underneath there. Alright, now I'm just going to give that another little rub in the excess. Alright, that's that one there done. Now do the top. This is burnt umber, acrylic paint. That paint's pretty old. It goes back from the time when I was actually doing some painting. I used to do painting. Started off painting, but what happened was because I was taught myself, well, from watching ones doing it, but I had no official lessons. But I got to the stage where I wasn't quite sure where to go next as far as the painting went. So I realised then that I was going to have to learn to draw, which is what I did. I taught myself to draw. Of course, where I lived at the time, apart from, I don't even know if YouTube was going then. 12 years ago? Yeah, it would have been. But where I lived, the internet connection was just a waste of time. So, and I lived out of town, so it was very hard trying to find out how to do things. So what I did was I'd go to the library, and because I lived so far out of town I couldn't join the library. I had to just sit there and read books and get notes and ideas, and I'd go around all the flea markets and find art books. And eventually I started getting there because I needed to do that to get more detail into my painting, and I found that I was really enjoying the drawing more so than the actual painting. Yeah, probably if I'd had YouTube I would have stayed on there and learnt a lot more, because you can only get to a certain point, and then after that, unless you know what you're doing, it's just all hit and miss, trial and error, which is fine. But anyway, I just found that drawing was a lot, well, it suited me more. And make mistakes, you can just rub it out. Well, you can paint over it. Now, maybe cutting a bit off this, I'm not sure yet. So I'll just paint around the edges. Haven't quite worked that out, whether or not I'm going to. I may have to, maybe too wide, so we'll see. We'll see when I get there. So yeah, these paints, they're good paints, I tell you. But they've been sitting in, you know, for at least 6-7 years, still working. Oh, I haven't just sort of, in my mind, I haven't just decided that's it, I'm never going to paint again. I did the mural, so, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I've still got to go and get the photocopy and done the laser print of the image we're going to transfer. So that'll be the next step probably, well, it will be. But it'll be the final step as far as, well, no, it won't be the final step actually. But I'm going to do a mock-up first anyway, just to make sure, just see everything's fitting good. Just want to get it all painted. Right. I want to be able to still see the grain and the knots, and all we're really doing, as I said before, we're just trying to age it, make it look aged. You know, I guess some people call it stress, but you know, just behave yourself. Oi! Gosh, got a mind of his own. Now I'll let that dry, and then I'll decide if it's going to need a little bit more here and there. I may have to sand it. We'll see. Alright, now with this, I want to just darken up the sides a bit, so I've just sanded a little bit off. Now I'm gonna go over with a bit of acrylic paint, and I'm going to use black. Let's see how we go with that. Once again, I'm just doing it just a light coat like that. Then I'll rub it off. I don't want a line. See that line through there? There. I don't want to see that. I want it to sort of blend in. So we've got to move a little bit quick. So sort of giving that, just the edge is a little bit burred over, and it's sort of, that's the effect I'm after. So like sort of a burnt look at that. You know, you don't have to go overboard. It's just trying to create the illusion of it being you know, as I say, unearthed or come out of a fire. I've got to move a bit quick just to so it doesn't set, because it doesn't dry too quickly. Yeah, that's I think that's about where I wanted it for now. I may have to darken it all up in here a bit more, but I don't. But when you transfer the image on, you don't want it too dark because it's very hard to see. But it may just a light wash may do it. I don't know, but it won't be. I'll put that over the image. So we'll see how we go. My brush is a bit hard, so I can't get it flow. But I'm just going to put so it looks a bit like there's some boards in there. I'll start to thaw out a bit. Once again, it's just a hint. Yeah, we can come back in and touch all that up. Of course, the other thing I've got to do is put in nail holes. So we get the old trusty old drill out. Those are a little bit too perfect. I don't like them looking too perfect either. So I get my little knife out. Just cut the bits out. I want it to look natural. And there. And we want to make sure there's no sort of bird bits, I guess, you know. Out. So we've got to try and get it smoother, but we can make it look rough. That's the beauty of being ambidextrous. I can change hands. Not on everything, but a lot of things I can. Now, let's see what I'm doing here. I'll put some black in here, and on this side, making it a bit watery. We don't want it too black. Probably a little bit dark, but it's alright, we can play around with it a bit. So you can see how we started off with a flat piece of wood that turns it into this. So yeah, we've got this looking pretty much how I want it to look. And in the centre there we're going to have the image. It's going to look quite neat. The next door neighbours are mowing their lawns, that's why it's a bit noisy out there. I've got the doors up here in the workshop. After 3 or 4 days of consistent rain, we've finally got sunshine today, so it's beautiful. Okay, now these have dried out, so I want to go and put a little bit of black on these as well, just in the areas where those little indentations are. There we just get different effects. Love it. Yeah, that's better. See how the grain, getting that grain starting to stand out now. That's what I'm after. And of course I can always sand it. Need to take a bit more off. Alright, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm just going to put them together and see if we need to cut any more off before I actually look at going and transferring the image onto our board. Okay, well I'm back from the photocopy shop, and here is our mirrored copy. Now, like I was saying before, it's very hard to get the sky, and there's no sky in this, there's no clouds. But that's alright, because what I'll do, I'll put them in. So there we go, that's the mirrored image right there. Alright, so we've got it. Just want to get it centered again. We will bring that down a little bit and measure that up. Just under 70. That's about right. So, just marking it where I've got to put the glue. Now, we'll try the old Gorilla Glue. We've done it before and it worked pretty good. So, let's see if it's going to work again. Alright. You put plenty on. Well, we need enough on there to cover it anyway. All the areas that we need it to be. There's a few little dots in there, so just want to make sure we get them. That'll do it. Alright. That's about it. my little roller here. Roll, try and get all the air bubbles out. Well, she's stuck down alright anyway. The glue dries clear. A few little bubbles in there. But anyway, all we're going to do now is just let it dry for a while. Usually overnight, but I've got a heat gun there. I might just try that. We'll see. I'll leave it for a little bit. Because I do have some other work I want to do on this yet, on the frames and that. So I'll leave it there for now. Okay, the moment of truth. I've left it sitting overnight. Take the first layer off. Well, that's the first layer. And it's the next layer that's is this the one there that counts. Starting to reveal itself. So far so good. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm pretty pleased with the bottom bit. Grassy area. Just hopefully it's going to stay the same. It's coming out alright actually. You've got to get all the paper off. It's a bit of a process. It's going around and around here. That Gorilla Glue, that's the bomb. I mean, I've been able to talk too soon now. Because of the clouds, I didn't do the clouds with an ink because it's just too hard to try and get a nice soft edge. So they haven't come through, but I'll see if I can do something about that. Just got to keep rubbing till there's no more paper. Because when it dries, it'll dry clear, the paper, there's any paper on there, you'll see it. It'll roll off. I'm just using dry fingers there. I'll wipe it off. I'm loving this. Down to the glue now, I think. Alright, I'm going to see how that dries, and then I'll come back to it. Looking pretty good so far. A bit of paper on there still. We'll get that off. Take a little bit of time. Anyway, let it dry for a bit, and then we'll come back to it. Now sunk. There you go. I want to wipe a bit more off there just so I can see a bit more of the grain. Yeah, that's better. We want the grain to be showing right through. Alright. Now, got glue on this one. Where are we? Bit of glue, screws, another sunk, another screw, alright, how are we looking so far? Looking alright? Maybe make it a bit smaller. Glue along the top here. Yeah. 30. Yeah, let's put the screw in. Last screw in there. A little bit of a touch up. There you go. Now just a little bit of a tidy up. That'll be about it, I'd say. Well, I'm glad you watched it right through to the end. There's probably still a little bit more I can do to it, but for the purposes of this video, you know, there's a time restraint, so, but it's pretty well, as it is now, it's pretty well how it's going to be. Just a little bit of a tidy up here and there. Now, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and leave a comment. And if you feel like it, hey, why not subscribe? And I'm sure you've got some friends out there that would love to see it as well, so hey, how about sharing it? It would really, really help my little channel grow a little bit more. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.